Well, to other news now, civil action group OUTA is slamming the Transport Department's failure to buy a new driver's license card machine. So the department says the breakdown was caused by an electrical surge. However, OUTA has revealed that the department acknowledged the machine was run down and needed to be replaced as far back as last year, March. CEO of the organization Undoing Tax Abuse, Wayne Duvenage, joins us now for this conversation. Wayne, thank you so much for your time this morning. I mean, it's absolutely preposterous to think that we've got one machine that caters to so many driver's license holders in the country. What is the story here?
I think, Faith, we're speaking about a department that is challenged in many respects. And I think it comes out to leadership, the administration bungling that continues. We've seen the whole driver's license matter just on booking and queuing and corruption and so many other factors within this department. R2 is a mess. The International Air Services Council wasn't even constituted for the last year, and it should have been. The list just goes on. And now we hear that one machine, an old machine that they acknowledged needed repairs and upgrading or replacement, eventually goes down in November, and now we are getting into the third month of no driver's licenses being produced. And this is just adds more pressure on top of the mounting debacle that is happening in this department.
Yeah, I mean, we're speaking about the mounting debacle in the department, but at the back of that as well is the issue around just road compliance and road safety compliance and the mitigating factors that need to be considered when we have this kind of a problem. Is there any solution so far? I mean, even the explanation of one card machine, it does not make sense. Why the explanation of one card machine? What is so wrong with having 2 or 3 card machines?
Or even a well-maintained one-card machine with the service level agreement, and, you know, to tell us that there was a flood in a building next door and the surge protection, there was no surge protection, obviously, and the surge, the mind boggles, quite frankly, and so, you know, to the question of, well, what happens? How do we fix this? It needs to be fixed through leadership. As you were saying, this debacle of continuous road fatalities. Every year we hear new plans to bring this problem down. I think, Faith, South Africa is one of those countries that there's the possibility of you being able to drive without a driver's license, never having achieved a driver's test, with a vehicle that is not even roadworthy and a vehicle that is unlicensed is very high. You could probably do that and get away with it for years, if not your entire lifetime in this country. And that all comes down to very poor leadership, the very poor plans around policing, visible policing, and tackling the problem of the issues related to driver's licenses and corruption and maladministration in the Department of Transport.
Yeah, I mean, as a solution, Wayne, should we then be looking at a 10-year renewal program instead of a 5-year renewal program? And is that really feasible, given the considerations that one has to make, even as the competency of the driver? So my eyesight changes every few years or so. My skills have to be relooked at every few years or so. So does 10 years make more sense as opposed to 5 years? And what could possibly be the effects of that?
Well, I don't think it takes away the problems that we have. It doesn't reduce the road fatalities and the corruption and the maladministration. It'll certainly reduce the burden on the department. And many countries around the world have a 10-year renewal. And it certainly becomes a problem for you and I, the citizens. Every 5 years you go, you wait, you queue, it's costly. And if you can negate that, having to do that so often, I think it reduces the pressure and improves the performance of a country because it makes us a lot more efficient. So I think we need to consider it for those reasons. But we mustn't forget that we've got to still fix the problems that exist in the driver's license testing and the renewal processes, get those to become far more digital. I mean, you can see in the annual performance plan, they're supposed to have switched over to a modernized driver's license card in the last year. They still haven't done that. So again, you have this team, you have this the massive amounts of revenue coming into the driver's license card account with a team of people managing this, and nothing happens. You're just paying big salaries. The salaries get bigger. It's like empire building, and really nothing happens. They don't move forward on digital technology. They don't fix their machines. They don't do anything. And we see this of the RTMC, the Road Traffic Management Corporation, just trying to make money out of the of renewal of licenses. It just goes on and on. I think the Department of Transport, the minister, needs to really sit down and get civil society involved and say, how do we find the solutions to the mounting administrative problems? This is purely a leadership incapacity issue.
Well, right now we're sitting with a significant number of unrenewed driver's licenses. As per last year's statement by the Minister of Transport, that extension given the renewal of the driver's licenses was until March this year. But given now that the one card machine, and I labor on the one card machine, has now been broken down, does that mean that there's an opportunity to lobby for perhaps another extension? And until when this time?
Yeah, and it's going to happen. I cannot see them getting away with not extending in March. And even if the card machine was working, now this has just made the problem a lot bigger. We believe they were going to have to extend it because they're not dealing with the issue of getting people the ability to get their licenses efficiently and on time. So this has made the problem bigger. I think they're going to have to extend it again. But really, they've got to get down to the problem of what their issues are within that department. And until they do that, you know what happens? Your credibility, just becomes minimized as a government. They have traffic police out there trying to manage the few, or the good ones out there trying to deal with this, are now having to be given, expired driver's licenses, and the citizen sits there and says, "There's nothing I can do about this. I've done everything I can to get a license. You cannot hold me accountable for this situation." So it makes law enforcement even more difficult, and the credibility of the state continues to decline as a result of this. They've got to fix the problem, and it starts at the top with leadership, and that leadership starts with Fikile Mbalula, I'm afraid, and he's been found wanting in many regards, in many respects, around the management and leadership of the Department of Transport.
So before I let you go, Wayne, have you reached out to the department? What have they said to you guys?
We've reached out on a number of occasions. We've written, and we get no responses. This is a department that couldn't care less about civil society's input. They really just do not want to engage. They don't keep society updated. I mean, all we want as citizens is to know, well, what's happening with this card machine? When will it be repaired? When will it be replaced? They do not keep anybody updated with information. So you have a department that has got its head in the sand and refuses to engage meaningfully and effectively with civil society, again, speaking to the problem of leadership.
Wayne, it looks as though if you were sending them a WhatsApp, all you did was get blue-ticked. But we'll leave it there for this morning. Thank you very much for your time. Wayne Duvenage, CEO of the organization Undoing Tax Abuse. I tell you, it's absolutely preposterous. One card machine servicing the millions of people that have got driver's licenses in the country. And now that one card machine is no longer working. It's been broken down. It's something that was supposed to be fixed from March 2021, I believe. Well, as that story develops, trust us, we'll give you the latest insight.